All right, Brock, this one's for you. Welcome to this tutorial on how to get a cork out of a wine bottle without a corkscrew. Now, you might be asking yourself, how did I get into this insane situation of not having a corkscrew? Believe it or not, this has happened to me several times in my life. Whether you end up at a house party or a hotel that doesn't have a corkscrew, you're going to be thankful that you watched this video. Now, I know you might say to yourself, a house party or a hotel that doesn't have a corkscrew is not worth going to. And you might be right. But when you're already there, the only thing that's going to make the situation better is popping into that nice bottle of cab. So let's suspend our disbelief for a moment and let's forget the why and just get into the how. There are at least 3 methods that I can show you to get inside of that bottle of wine. The first method is to use some sort of an implement, such as a screwdriver or a pen, or if you're desperate enough, a stick, and you can jam the cork right back into the bottle. This is not my favorite technique. There's several limitations to it. First of all, if the cork's going in there, sometimes some wine's splashing out of there. We don't want to make a mess. We're not heathens after all. Second problem is when the cork's in there, it doesn't really pour very nice. And again, this isn't very classy. If you've been desperate enough to use the stick, we don't want any off-tasting bark getting into our wine. No thanks. And so method number 1 is reserved for only the most dire situations. Method number 2, again, we're going to use a screwdriver and a screw. We're going to screw the screw into the cork and then use either the claw of a hammer or maybe some pliers to pull the cork out of there. Works pretty good. The limiting factor is, again, you require tools. Now, believe it or not, I've been in a scenario where I had those tools and didn't have a corkscrew, and I can verify it works very, very well. So if you find yourself abandoned at the job site, you're welcome. But due to the prerequisite tools, I'm going to say the usefulness of method number 2 is somewhat limited. And so I'm going to jump all the way to method number 3. Method number 3 is the method that I'm actually going to be showing you today. It's the shoe technique. The nice thing about the shoe technique is that typically you have shoes with you. Now, if you find yourself in a scenario where you don't have a corkscrew, you have a bottle of wine, and you don't have any shoes, you should probably be considering your situation. Maybe bartering your bottle of wine for some shoes? I don't know. I'm not going to judge, but you will need at least 1 shoe to make this technique work. I'm going to use the one on my foot. All right, so the principle is pretty simple. You're going to take your shoe, holding it, I'd recommend, by the toe box, and use the heel to basically hammer the cork out of the bottle. I don't know, it seems crazy, but it works. Now, before you get too far, you're going to have to get the foil off of the bottle of wine. I'm not really going to explain how you do this because I'm going to consider this your sobriety check. If you can't get the foil off the bottle of wine, then you maybe don't deserve it. So let's get to it and get this off of there and get started. So grab the shoe and start hammering. Make sure that you check your progress. It doesn't go very quick, but don't let that discourage you. It is working. The other reason you need to check your progress is because the cork doesn't come out at a uniform speed. It starts out pretty slow and then it gets going. You want to keep a careful eye on that because if you're not, it's going to pop out of there and you're going to be sloshing wine all over at least one of your shoes. So keep an eye on your progress. Now, before you get any ideas about looking like some sexy MacGyver and using this as a party trick, it does not look very cool. I mean, I'm holding a shoe and a bottle of wine, for heaven's sake. This is abnormal social behavior. Now, that being said, it's a means to an end. And all those haters, you can tell them to back off. When you get this puppy open, you can tell them they can't have it. As you can see, we're making some good progress here. And it's really starting to speed up. Somewhere around this point, you're going to want to stop hammering. You're going to use your hands to pull it out, or if you're feeling like a buccaneer, your teeth. There it is. We got our wine open. We're ready to go. Prost. Now, if you didn't have as much success as I did, I feel bad for you because bitter regret probably doesn't taste as good as an appassamento. But you know what? Keep trying or find a friend with better shoes. Cheers.